Zuka, do you have some photos from Chimani, Mani, from that site?
From the site.
Yes, when you did the installation of the station, did you take some photos? Oh, you don't have them on your computer right now.
I think they are in the phone.
Okay, on the phone.
Yeah, with the section.
I see. Okay, I think we can start. Maybe we can also finish early. So now I'm going to show you how we can generate quality plots, which basically allow you to understand and analyze more in detail some specific problems related to your sites. So first of all, check if you have your file imported. So here at the bottom of Spider QC, you should see the name of the file which you imported before. Is it there, everybody? All right. Right. So this is the file that you imported before. So how can I get rid of this? So here we have a section called raw data analysis. So this actually section of the software allows you to analyze in detail some specific aspects of a Rhinex file. In this first section, what you can set time period. So typically you can use just some part of the Rhinex file. You can just use it in full. So we are going to use this full 24-hour of data. We keep it as this, use the full time period. Otherwise, if you uncheck, then basically you'll be able to edit and then cut some parts of the Rhinex files. Here, set time period, use the full time period. You see this checkbox at the bottom, at the top. So if you select set time period and then uncheck this full time period, then you can set the start time and end time of the Rhinex. You can concentrate on specific time during the observation. Now, the second important setting that we will do here is enable disable satellites. So in this section, you can, as you can see, you have a list of all satellites that have been tracked, and you will be able to basically uncheck or unselect some specific satellites or the whole the whole satellite system. So you have always, we'll have actually this multiple selection options in different dialogues. So typically you can select none, you can select all, or you can select just specific satellite systems. So now the first and the most important, I would say, graph plot that you can generate is this view tracking info. This will give you in one view more or less all main issues of the station. And so you will see the progress bar here in the lower right corner. Once again, depending on how fast your PC is, it will take a while to generate this plot. Yes, I'm coming. Yes, correct. It crashed.
Yes, because your file is not loaded. This is what I asked at the beginning, if your file is loaded or not. It is not. So now we need to load the file first. So please press this open navigation file, open GPS navigation file, and select your local station. Then select Roland's available radio from Taiwan. Open Roland's navigation file. That's exactly what we did at the beginning. Okay, that's fine. So it reads in all the navigation files. And open Babylon. So file, open Babylon navigation. And then open Babylon. Yeah, the same problem. Did you close Spider QC before you went for lunch? No, I left it. Yeah, this is the reason. So you need to actually once again open the when I go to open navigation file. Yes, exactly. You have to do the same as select and open, and then open the here. What was the last one that you have? Okay. Now you open observation file. So file and open observation file. Okay. Yeah. Okay, but if you close the okay, I should remember the setting. You have no parameters. You need to select the elevation mask to set it down to 5 degrees. It's set to 10 degrees. So we need to close this plot. And this recording target, is found and now view tracking. Which side is this? I'll show you. Which station is this? It covers somewhere. Yeah, we have some nice plots. We can show what is the. So we go to just resize. Okay, now it's very good. Now we go to first let's check settings. And let's see if we have some settings. Yeah, it's reminders. Okay, the settings are good. So we can just press OK. And now we'll do a little analysis. We'll just go to check the yeah, we will. View tracking. But now we are going to use a different approach. So we are going to not needed. You have already done that. So yes, you just first view tracking. Not correct, but not perfect. This one is quite good. Alright,
So what all of you, what you can see is more or less this, looks similar. So this is what we call a sky plot view. So if you right click, here you have series, and then you can visualize certain aspects. So I will select none. So here you can see this is the it's zenith. So this is the point above the antenna, and everything else is just a view from antenna point of view how it sees the sky plot. So the satellite, and this second circle here, this is the elevation mask. So normally the software will cut off everything which is below 5 degrees and will not plot anything here. So we have a few things that you can display. So you can display, first of all, untracked satellites. So this, and you have untracked satellites for GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, and Beidou, obviously. So these are the satellites which, in theory, should have been tracked above this 5-degree elevation. As you see that there is nothing below, so this is completely grayed out. And this is exactly what at Chimani the receiver is missing. So these are the missing observations. So if you do the same on your plots, you will see basically how much your side is missing, how much data your side. So normally you should see very, very few lines. If you see something that it means that you have some obstructions. So, sometimes some satellites, when they appear, the receiver cannot track them because they set some wrong broadcast assemblies, for example. So it can take a while until the receiver starts tracking. So I would say this side is best. It is almost as good as the other side. All other stations have some untracked satellites. So here in the eastern side, you can see that basically there are some obstructions most of the trees. So if you right click and select series, if you select now, so it will reactivate everything and now just highlight all the untracked satellites.
Yeah, this is another quite good site.
So this is so the more you see here, the more untracked data you see, the bigger the problem. Because obviously the idea of the reference station or the core station is to do as much data as possible. So for example, if I was in charge or if I was to choose, then I would not certainly not select station Chimani Mani. This has too many obstructions, too many untracked data, so that I would try to find a different location, for example, for this station. The other side, Suzuka is more or less a very good site with some obstructions in the north. If you have a look at this, so you can see some untracked satellites here and here. So these are some kind of solid obstructions. It looks like, at least here, and here we have some dots. It means that these are the satellite was visible but not tracked constantly. So most probably some trees. Here on the eastern side, we have also some kind of trees or something. We have all the interruptions of tracking, and also the southwestern corner that looks like some kind of solid structure, but not very high. This is perfect actually. I would say, and this we have now also some. I would say this is something solid because of, and here we have some trees or some something half transparent. Then, vice versa to this, you have this tracked satellite. So if I just select tracked satellites, then you will see that in this area, the receiver is not able to track anything. This means this must be some kind of mountain in the northern side. Also here, most probably, but this is really solid because not a single sign of tracking. So this basically tells you more about how solid the obstructions are. It's really not tracked. So in your case, it is not something that's solid that was causing the cycle. So it's really something else. Because you can see that more or less everywhere you can track it, like the same here. Yeah. So here I would say it's also there's nothing. So you're tracking from the beginning till the end. Here, yeah, this is kind of dense. You can see. So, but it doesn't really seem to be that solid. So here, yeah, it's almost good. So only at this station I see some real solid obstruction, something like a mountain or a building or something which is close to the antenna, which causes that this antenna cannot track here. Another interesting thing that you can activate are this cycle slip. And so cycle slips are basically these interruptions of tracking, which means that satellite was tracking before, it was tracking after, but then at some point of view, the tracking was interrupted. So this once again indicate either an obstruction, something like a tree or something like a tower, or even worse, something like interference. Because if the signals are constantly interrupted, so that indicates there is some kind of jamming, which prevents the receiver for tracking properly. So here in this case, I have cycles almost everywhere up to 35 degrees. So these circles which you see here, sorry. So I would say. So these circles, this is the 90 degrees of Earth, this is the zenith, this is the horizon, this is 60 degrees, 30 degrees elevation, this is 60 degrees, and this is 90 degrees. So if I go once again to this cycle slips, I will select cycle slip and untracked. So we can see basically that all satellite systems are what is nice is this graph here. So Zuka has a nice situation. So you can see the cycle slips are here down. This is clear because he had some obstructions, most probably trees. But he sees this. So you can see there is a structure. It must be a tower or something that goes right up to almost 70 degrees elevation. So the receiver is set up just next to some kind of GSM tower or something. The same here. They also have some kind of tower. Looks like. Yeah, over here. Also, the receiver is very close to a tower. Is it true? Tower. Yeah. There's a tower, right? Yeah, this is good. Nothing. This is also good. You have just some cycle slips here, and this also can indicate some kind of tower or something. So this Gokwe, do we have some tower? Some trees, tall trees. Yeah, I see the trees. Yeah, I think the trees are here on this eastern side, but this looks also some kind of tower. There is a tower. No.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's almost perfect, right?
This is almost. I don't see an issue. So here with this tool, actually, you can even I have not been to the sites, so I've never seen the pictures. But based on this tracking info parameters, you can already say some things, basically about the site. So usually you can resize it and you can save the files in the different graphical formats. So, for example, JPEG, and because normally I'm not sure how we are planning to do, but normally you should complete some kind of installation reports. Was this the plan? Do you know? Yeah, it was the plan. So normally these files should typically be included in the installation report, and so basically you can use this standard file name and call it, for example, money, and I would say all, because all satellite systems are tracked. So you can save the file, and we can close this tracking info Skype plot.
Yes, yes.
And you can save into the same folder where the
That one, you can save it as well.
which one?
Quality cheating.
Yes, the first, yes, it's also possible to save it. Yes. Also, but this graphics is enough because it is more about the quality of the site than the numbers themselves.
What about the 2D? What is the difference of the 2D and 3D?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is something you cannot use at the moment. This is used for different analysis. So you can have within Spider we have a module which can repeatedly compute baselines between stations. So for example, from the inside to this kind of baseline every day it will compute. Spider will compute this baseline, and the result can be analyzed by Spider QC. So Spider QC will compare the computed position with the reference position and generate some kind of time series. And then what kind of time series if you want to see? So this 2D difference or Easting difference, nothing. This this is where you can select these different plots. So okay, so you manage to, if you right click and select series, and select all, then yeah, then this is the information. Then you can save the file. You can keep the default name and just give it some ID. So, for example, underscore gok or look or something,
Okay.
underscore all, meaning all the So then you see, you can see the data. You can use it in the report. Okay. So the second plot that you can see here is to view number of available satellites over the day. So here you will see 4 plots: GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, Bennu, and the fifth one is a summary. So you can see here more or less how many satellites this course station can track. So in total, it is up to 40, 42, 43 satellites at one point of the day. But normally, you will most probably see better results. Because generally speaking, your stations, even though they are quite far away from each other, they should more or less see the same satellite at the same time because they're so far. Yeah, for example, here, the receiver can take up to 46 satellites. So what happened? Did you kill Spider Q3? Okay. Raw data analysis and view available satellites. And so I remember the times when I was very, very young. It was possible to track only, let's say, 14 satellites per day. And everybody was happy, right? So now we can track 45 satellites and nobody view available satellites. So in theory, this is how many corrected data this station can provide. So up to 47, up to 45 satellites at about what is it, 4 o'clock? Oh, no, for 2 o'clock. Yeah. So you see this here is the number of satellites in total. So this is the GPS glass available. And here, all these different colors below, these are different satellite systems. So at the bottom, you can see the legend. So yellow, no, blue is GPS, yellow is GLONASS, violet is Galileo, and red is Bennu. So once again, if you want to only select specific satellite system, you can right-click, select series, and then you can just play with it if you need. So if somebody asks you how many satellites can you track, this is what you say. Correct. So this is also, you can use this if you want for the report. So you just go to File, Save As. I'm sorry, this icon here, Save As, and type in. So something like that. You can close this, and now we can have a look at data from different satellite systems point of view. So now we are going to raw data status. We will select enable disable satellites, and we are going to analyze only GPS data. So the easiest way to select all GPS satellites is to select none here and then press GPS. Then only GPS will be selected. You go to raw data status analysis, enable disable satellites. Then you will see this dialog here. Then press none, which means you will see that all satellites will be deactivated. If you press GLONASS, then if you press GPS, then only GPS satellites will be. When we do this kind of detailed analysis, it is necessary to take into consideration that all satellite systems are affected differently because they use different frequencies. So when we do this detailed analysis, then we just press GPS now, and it will only select GPS. Everything else is deactivated. Perfect. So if you have that, you press OK. Sorry, you press close. Okay. Then you will see something will happen here. The progress bar will. So it means that it will only activate GPS satellites, and we can have a look at this SNR sky plot. So SNR sky plot gives you information about the signal power or the signal strength from GPS satellite, and you need to select a frequency which you want to analyze first. So obviously we'll need to know which frequencies are used with GPS. So GPS is using L1. So you will select this first option here, and you will deactivate automatic scaling and use manual scaling from 20 to 60. So this is more or less the range that our measurement engine can detect from 20 dB hertz to 60 dB hertz. So you select this. And if you press OK, then you will see something. Yes, deactivate automatic 20 to 60. Then we are going to use this 20 to 60 for all analysis. So deactivate is 20 to 60 are on variable. So you will see another skyplot view, but this time you will not see information about tracking, but you will see information about I have a problem. I did not. So once again, here you can see the signal power. So when the satellite, when it rises from behind the horizon, so the signals are weak. We have the graphical scaling here. So basically from 20 dB hertz to 60 dB hertz, which means the blue color represents very, very weak signals. So I have weak signals here at the basically at low elevations, because this is when the satellite is rising. As long as it is rising, the power of the signal should basically become higher. So the signals are stronger, and they go over the scaling to the green color, to the yellow. And when the signals or the satellite is above the receiver, then obviously due to lowest number of biases, the signal should be strongest. So here in this area, you should have basically red color for everything. All satellites and all L1 basically signals. So what is interesting, for example, you can see you can detect areas where the signal somehow the behavior was not as predicted. So normally the satellite is rising, so from blue color to green to yellow, and here it goes from basically it was almost red, it goes back to green. So basically the satellite power drops from this area about 50, let's say, to something like 40. So once again, this indicates some kind of obstruction, most probably, where the satellite, basically the signals were not tracked directly, but they were filtered, they were behind some obstruction. So, and since you can see this is covering all this area, so once again, here I have some tower or something, some kind of pole that is causing that basically the signals are weaker. So we should see the same here. Yes, it's even more visible here because we had also some cycle slips. So it's not just that the signals were weaker; the receiver completely lost tracking of the satellite. So once again, this can be used to detect some kind of object. So you can see also here nice. Yes. So this once again is some kind of tower point. Actually, it goes on.
So once again, the receiver must be set up very, very close to some kind of.
Yes, how you say? Wow,
Yeah, this is a nice one. Here I don't see any obstruction. So this is really the good side where we have no obstruction. So here we have something. And here you see. Normally this area should be all kind of yellow or red. You have some green part, so there is something here. I don't know what it is. Maybe here some power or something. But also in this area. This is very high, though, so it cannot be a tree, most probably, or maybe it's a tree, but then we will see also. I would say some kind of structure here. I cannot see any.
So once again, even without visiting the site, you can already say if the site is was selected properly or if there were some there are some obstructions. So once again, we can save it, and in order to basically confirm the results, we can also analyze the second frequency and the third frequency. Normally, these frequencies should give you more or less similar results. So if you go to skyplot view, so once again, you open the same menu, skyplot, but select different frequency, select L2, using the same frequency range. The power range from 20 to 60 dB hertz. You can see exactly, it looks more or less the same, although it is not the same because it is analysis of a different frequency. So once again, I see here clearly a tower where the signals go weaker. L2, yes. You select this one, L2/B1C. So normally this should confirm more or less what you saw before. Can I get the photos? Not now, but can you send them later to me or should I send them?
For the human mania.
No, for all stations.
All stations, yeah, with this action.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Okay, so we select L2. Here it's not so obvious what it is, but there is something. Yeah, this is a very good site. Yeah, we have something. Maybe some high power lines in this case. It's in town. A tower. Okay, but here it is not so obvious as, for example, I said my Skype was at Zukas. Zukas, you can really draw it, see how. Here it's not so. No, you don't change the satellite. So you keep the GPS satellite. So this is a different frequency from GPS. And you press OK. Yeah. This is also a good site. So Centenary and GSU, these are two. So once again, you can save the data, and the last frequency to check is L5 here. Hmm? So you will see that L5 is stronger. You should see more red light, and Also, maybe this obstruction will not be so visible anymore. No, in your case, it's always there. Yeah, if we had photos, we could match all these interruptions, infecting, or basically this SNR blocks.
Right.
Yeah, you can save it, right? It's okay. Also, normally, as you know, you should have some kind of sound installation reports. So this usually in the sound installation reports, you have them, right? No, these are reconnaissance reports, no?
The 40s.
You can also do the same.
Which stage?
Okay. No.
So there's a tower.
And it's here in the front.
So you understand what I'm saying? We can not see that much.
Which one? For
Yeah, normally you should take photos from the rooftop. When you're on the roof, you should take photos or surroundings. And if you see
Saxon. Saxon, there pa zenda pamusoro pa pachitora ma-instance. Haizona
Okay. So L1, L2 file, L5.
Nika maviki hausovaziya akaipa.
So another plot that can be quite interesting is this second one. So we are still working with GPS only, okay? And you select SNR versus elevation. And you will see here basically the propagation of signal strength versus the elevation of the satellite. So once again, you see here basically three plots. If I open series, you will see that we have L1 SNR, L2 SNR, and L5 SNR. So if I select just L1 SNR, you will see basically and I will also, so if you want to change scaling, because now it is set to automatic scaling, you can right click, select properties, and in the properties you can set the scaling once again from 20 to 60, for example. You will right click and select properties, and then you have this scaling. You can set from 20 to 60. Yes, for y-axis. And then it gives you more or less the same range as before, as for the skyplot views. So normally, you will see something really different than what I see. Your plot should be narrow here, and basically the higher the elevation is, the more narrow the plots will be. This basically means that when the satellites, as I said, are low, at low elevations, let's say we have the 5-degree elevation mass, so we will not see anything here. It is from 0 to 5 degrees, but from 5, you will see that the power of the signals should rise with the increasing elevation of the satellite. So this is L1. On GPS, you can see I have a lot of drops of signal strength or signal power. This is because of all these obstructions. You also see the same because you have a lot of obstruction. So all these drops at high elevation. So this is 60 degrees. So this is really at this elevation, satellite is there and it is obstructed by something. This is why the power of the signal drops suddenly and then bumps back. So it really looks like this metallic construction with pipes. So it is not a solid building like a concrete building. This is really strange. So this is only from 20 degrees to 60 degrees. So this is the elevation range from 20 to 60 degrees. So if you right click and select properties, no, but the corrected is x-axis. You need to correct the y-axis. So select here, you select from 20 to 60. And the x-axis, you can use auto scaling. Okay. Yeah, but it's also not good. So this is you can look at the Cuthbert flow. This is how it should look. This represents an undisturbed satellite with no obstruction. So quite strong already at the beginning. So you see from 30 dB, and then as the satellite rises, then the signal goes stronger and not disturbed. So this is yeah, not so bad, but also not so good. But mine is the worst, I would say. And this is also quite bad. So all these drops, they represent obstructions, and you can see actually at what elevation you still have this obstruction. So here it's at up to 70 degrees, so it must be very, very close to the tower. Here it's a bit lower, 68. And here it's constant. So this is strange. So because at left some kind of satellite signal drops at 80 degrees, it must be set up next to the tower or there is some interference. So we will see more about interference if we have a look at other plots. So once again, you can save these plots. So typically you can select also other signals to see. So you see L2 more or less follows the same pattern, at least in my plot. And if I select the L5, it's more or less the same. So this area is really, this side is not that perfect. So once again, you can So
yeah. So this side is also quite okay. We have these drops here in the signal power, but yeah, some kind of trees. Yeah. Right. So once again, you can save the plot.
So as I said, I can show you once again how good plots should look like. So if I still have it. HQ side analysis. So you see, this is Zingsa. Even here we have some drops, but then from about 10. So we have some trees around. But then the plots should look more or less like this. So the best plots are those from GSU, right? So if we save it, then we can go to another section called SNR time series. So SNR time series, if you select them, once again you need to select the frequency. So L1 and the frequency range, or the SNR range will be from 20 to 60 dB hertz. Yeah. You will see something. So you will see something like this. So this is basically the SNR observations, or the observation of the signal strength. So I will just right click and select series, and basically select none. So the plot will be empty, and I will just show you one satellite. So this is typically how this type of observation looks like. So at this time, the satellite rises, from from below the horizon, or from below this 5 degrees, and normally the power oscillates because of signal passes through different layers of atmosphere, if there are no obstructions. And then basically, as the satellite rises, normally the noise of the signal should be lower. When the satellite is at its highest part of trajectory, the signal noise should be the lowest. And once again, the signal power should be basically highest. So the strongest part of the signal should be when the satellite is above the antenna of the receiver. When the satellite starts basically setting down, then once again the noise of the signal will be higher, and shortly before, and the signal power will be lower, of course, or it will be getting lower. And shortly before the satellite really sets behind this 5-degree elevation mass, then the noise will be probably the strongest. So in this plot, you can analyze one by one these different SNR observations. So if you see these, so these are the sudden drops of the power of the satellite. You see here that there was some kind of obstruction here, and the power of the signal dropped by 15 dB hertz, so quite significantly. And normally we can also we see. So we can even drop or display kind of dots here. So each dot represents an observation to see if